Hi, so today I'm talking about two slightly difficult subjects, utilities, so that's heating and lighting, how you power your home, and water, and obviously broadband and things like that, and transport. So the easier one first is utilities. Here, the Ethical Consumer magazine in England is very good, can give you a lot of information on electricity and gas companies, on broadband companies. There's nothing you can do about your water. I mentioned earlier about the dire state of water supply in England and I think Wales. I'm not sure how. I think it's bad really all over Britain, but certainly in England it's very, very bad. And there's not much we can do about that. It's kind of a privatised monopoly. Yeah, we're kind of stuck with it, and I think our bills have gone up. I was working out the other day 600% in the last 20 years, and I know some people have told me that they're on a water meter that their bills have gone up 40% this year. I mean, the rate that they're charged has gone up 40% this year. And again, we're living on a very wet island. Have a think about that. You know, we're not in the desert. Yeah, so I can't help you with water. There's really nothing you can do about it. You can have, obviously, go into the permaculture thing I mentioned last time. Look at saving water for the garden if you're on a meter to help you with the cost. We have a water filter. There's Dalton in England. They're a bit like a Big Berkey that they have in America. Dalton filters, they're actually manufactured here in Stoke-on-Trent, quite an old company. If you're not sure about the quality of your water supply, it will taste nicer, make better tea, make better wine. We make our own wine. You'll drink more of it because it tastes nicer. I'll put a link to that in too. But I can't help you other than that with the price of your water. You're stuck with it here. But yeah, other companies, Ethical Consumer is really good. Sometimes celebrities endorse different companies. I know Chris Packham is endorsing EcoTalk Mobile Company at the moment because they are putting some of their profits towards rewilding and ecological improvements to parts of the countryside, if that's something you're interested in. But I would say, going back to the theme of being kind to yourself, for many years we weren't with an ethical electricity and gas supplier because we couldn't afford it. They're not as expensive anymore. I mean, I think they're one of the cheaper options now. But if you can't afford the ethical choice, or if their customer service is just terrible, for example, and they're just gaslighting you, that happens a lot with utilities in this country. If they're gaslighting you and you can't work with them, do be kind to yourself. You don't have to go with something you can't afford because it's the ethical choice. You've got to do what's best for you and just do the best you can. So again, don't feel bad about that if you can't make the recommended ethical choice. Yeah, always bear that in mind. Looking at us as a business, yeah, we run the business from home, so the ethical choices that we make about our home utility supplies are the ones for the business as well. We don't use a lot of power at all because yeah, we've got a wood burning stove and we live in a very warm house, so actually we're a very low cost business in that way, which is just luck really. Onto transport, which is something that I don't think anyone in Britain is very lucky about, and it's something really, if you live here, that I think there aren't really any good choices. Certainly, I've almost given up on the trains where we live. They're so awful. I've had so many very bad experiences and being charged quite a lot of money for being treated in a way that I would consider animal cruelty if you did that to livestock, frankly. So yeah, I think the trains are the ethical choice often for transport, but again, you've got to be kind to yourself, and I am not going to make that ethical choice if it involves me having to pay money to be treated in a totally inhuman way. No, I'm not going to do that. In terms of here where we live, other kinds of transport not very good. They are trying to improve the bus service. Cycling even people who are very keen cyclists, it's very dangerous. The traffic's awful. It's aggressive. The road systems are not friendly to cyclists. There are terrible potholes everywhere. Yeah, it's difficult making transport decisions, good ones. And I think for a lot of people in the UK, it's a situation where there are no good options. And again, just do the best you can. Be kind to yourself. Put your own welfare first, I say, with the trains. Some things may be ethical, but they're not ethical if they're involving mistreatment of you as a person. Yeah, as regards to driving, I think do the least you can, obviously, but the way the housing market is and the job market, lots of us have to travel long ways to work, or even schools, or for care for our relatives or children. It's not simple at all, and just do the best that you can. I know that John Blake, you probably don't know, fellow Castle Sefton Press author and artist, has never learned to drive. He doesn't drive at all. He's retired now, and he's never driven a car, and he doesn't use public transport. He walks everywhere, and he thinks nothing of walking an 8-mile trip to go and see his son on the other side of the city. That's quite a light stroll for him because he's always walked everywhere, and I think it's incredibly good for you, and it's really kept him healthy. It's not an option for everyone. We don't all have the time to do that, and often we're carrying things or giving lifts to other people, or there are all kinds of considerations. But I would say that if you can walk more, do it. It's very ethical. It's really good for you. It's really good for the planet. Yeah, it's a great thing to do. If you can walk to your local shops, if you can walk to local facilities, we can where we live here. That's a nice thing. Yeah, get out and walk instead of getting in the car. But other than that, with transport, I think you can only do the best you can in a really terrible situation. Do keep your car as long as you can. Buying a new car is one of the least ethical things that you can do in car driving, because they cost enormous amount of resources to produce. So once you've got one, I hate spending money on cars personally, so I just run until the wheels fall off, providing they're kept safe to do so. Yeah, and that's a really ethical thing you can do with your driving. As a business, of course, because we're print on demand, we're not shipping loads of stock around the country, we're not paying to warehouse it, we're not engaging in all those logistics. John Blake and I are working here from home, so we're not travelling to work. So we're actually doing quite well and ethically for a product-based business, transport-wise. But again, it's a difficult one. Everyone's just do your best and don't worry about it. But I would say if you do have the option of not having to travel a long way to work or school for your kids or care for your relatives or whatever, that does improve the quality of your life, as well as being good for the planet and cheaper. Yeah, I know from experience, long hours in the car with the state of the roads and the traffic in this country, it's quite soul destroying really, and eats up hours of your life. So yeah, if you have the option, and of course many of us don't, to live close to where you work, make it a short commute, then I would say that's a really good thing to do as an ethical consumer and for your own well-being. So last part tomorrow. I hope you've enjoyed this series. If you have, please give me a follow or a click or a like or something, just something to say thank you for doing this series.